I'm Anthony Nguyen. Join us as we change the narrative around aged care, one story at a time. Welcome back to the Pioneers in Aged Care podcast. Here we have Jason Binder, the CEO of Respect. Thank you, Jason, for being on the podcast.
Thanks, Anthony.
Look, great to have you on. Before we get into it, I want to say thank you to the sponsors. So the sponsors for this episode is Aurelia Legal, which is an immigration law firm focusing on the aged care sector, specializing in navigating 482 and 186 visa sponsorships. The other sponsor is Optimum Allied Health, a provider of choice for residential aged care facilities focused on the quality of clinical care in their physiotherapy and allied health programs. We also have Mirus Australia, a leader in aged care innovation and data-driven software, who has developed technologies such as Mirus Metrics, Care Minute Manager, and now Mirus Plus, which is an AI-powered platform that streamlines everything from admissions to compliance. And then we have Quality Insight, which is an organization that helps aged care providers maximize returns and resident outcomes through continuous feedback, expert guidance, and tailored solutions such as First Call Mystery Shopping and First Impressions Mystery Shopping. So thank you very much for the support of the sponsors. Without your support, this episode wouldn't be possible. Great, now let's get stuck in. Jason, if we can get a broad overview about the organization, about Respect, we'll start there, we'll dive deeper.
Yeah, so we're a residential aged care provider, home care provider, retirement living provider. We have a GP clinic and we also have a childcare centre. So a broad range of things. Our main focus has always been residential aged care. So we've got 39 aged care homes across the country, all in regional areas. So we could be the largest regional provider, I'm not sure. Bupa, when I was talking to them, said they used to be and they thought they had 20 something. So I don't know if we are or not. Or
did you say 39?
39, yeah.
Okay.
So we might be, I'm not sure. We're one of the largest regional providers and we're probably one of the only larger specific regional providers. So so 39 residential aged care homes, and that's probably the bulk of the business. We've got 1,300 plus home care clients, 700 retirement living units or more. So they're quite reasonable sized divisions as well, but that's a broad overview of the organisation and where we are across 5 states. It started in Tasmania, but we're across Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. We've got one in Western Australia as well.
You do?
Yeah.
Has it been an intentional thing going regional rather than metro?
Yeah, look, fundamentally, our mission as a not-for-profit, you need to exist for a mission. No point getting up out of bed if you don't. We don't have shareholders or we're not paying dividends, and so what are you doing essentially? And I think it's really important to be clear on that. I think it's important to be clear on that even if you're a private operator or a private business of any kind. A lot of successful businesses are really clear on what their mission is. It doesn't matter if they're not-for-profit or private, but I think as a not-for-profit it's even more important because it's just your only reason to exist. And so for us it's to care for older people, and look, the reason for that is because I think we live in the best country in the world, and like you and I, we're just lucky enough to be born here, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't build it, the people before us built it, and I don't like that older people are kind of shoved off, right? Because it just feels so disrespectful to me that happens. And so our mission is obviously to care for those people, make sure they get the best care in the last bit of their life, to kind of honour what they've done and given us. So I think that's really important. Second to that though, I grew up in a country town, Renmark in South Australia. It's on the Murray River. A lot of our management staff did too. And so we're kind of passionate that sometimes the cities get focused on more than regional areas, and we want to make sure older people in regional areas get a good care as they do in the cities, because they had as much contribution to this country as anybody. So it's really important to us. And so I guess we're passionate about regional areas. It's not that if one in the city popped up, we wouldn't consider that, because we do believe just older people in general deserve that care. But ultimately, yeah, our passion's just in the regions. It's it drives us.
Yeah. How long have you been at Respect now?
I've been at Respect for nearly 2 decades, so 19 years, and I've been the CEO for 15 years.
And tell me about your journey into aged care. Was it always a sector you wanted to contribute to, or did you fall into it? How did that happen?
No, I just fell into it, and then fell in love with it. But so I was in IT, so I was a partner in a managed service provider, IT company, and I just thought wasn't going the direction I wanted. I wanted to make it bigger, and I guess I don't know, got a fair bit of ambition there, but it wasn't going the direction I wanted to. So I thought I'll go and do my MBA, and I'll go work somewhere for a bit while I'm doing that, figure out what I'm doing. Then I ended up getting into industrial relations and doing that, and then I did my accounting degree, and so I ended up working in aged care, but probably must have been, what did I say, 15? It must have been 4 years into it, because we only had 3 aged care homes. It was the same organisation. It was called Eliza Purden back then. 4 years into it, the senior managers all left, the CEO and finance and everything. The board came to the middle manager, which was me, and Brett Menzies, who's still our chief operating officer. He was just the care manager, and so they came to us and said, this is no good. He's losing 1.3 million a year. We've got to merge with a bigger provider, and I think they thought a bigger provider was like 10 homes there, or 9 or something, I can't remember. But so Brett and I were just kind of part of getting together the board and saying, look, we think we can fix this, and they said, all right, have a go. And I probably didn't have a choice. I mean, we're only 30, so, 31 or something. And looking back at it, I'm like, gee, you gave these 31-year-old guys a go. We're pretty just knock around blokes too, right? So
I was still a child at 30.
Yeah, and anyway, we had a go and we fixed it. So we turned that around and we ran it like that for a while. And then other providers that were not going well. First one was in Swan Hill in Victoria, called Our Chiringa, and they approached us and said, look, we know you've done that before, can we join Respect and you do it? And they were losing $2.7 million a year. So we, a big decision for us, because we were like little old Tassie down there, and we had to wait in the airport, get on a flight. And then by the time you get the other side, that's 3 hours, and you have to drive. There's no flight to Swan Hill. So you drive from Melbourne 4 hours trying to hit a kangaroo. And so it was a long way away, big risk. If it didn't work, maybe probably would have sunk the company. So, but we did that one too. That worked. We turned it around, and we learned how to manage remotely then, because we had to. It's just you're 7 or 8 hours away from it. So we had to learn, how do we get this to perform, monitor the performance, and make sure it works at a distance. And so it was probably the best thing we've ever done, that one, because A, it got us over the ditch, the water, and B, it just really forced us to learn how to operate them remotely. And I guess that's enabled the expansion into regional areas.
So that's where the pretty much the DNA of Respect came from that first couple of years. And you've taken all the learnings from those first couple of years to get where you are now.
Yeah, and then it's just grown from there. Like at first, it was just, like, we might have had one home join us every couple of years. Then it was, 1 a year, and then it was 2 a year, and then I think last year it was 7, this year it was 12. So it's kind of just compounded as we've gone. And we're not like circling around looking for them. I'm not out there with flash marketing things trying to get people to join. It's just when opportunities come to us, we look at them and assess them, and if they work out, they work out. And so it's not, it's not like, we want to grow, and we want to support those providers that are in regional areas and struggling, but at the same time, there's no target set. So, and it's deliberate like that. The board, we've had those conversations, and we're just in agreement that if we set a target, that's going to change my approach. And so I'm not trying to take over not-for-profits.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not walking around like a shark trying to, I'm going to get this deal or that deal or whatever. And so I'll meet with not-for-profits, and if it works, then it works for us. We'll do it.
Yeah.
And so there's no cap on the growth, but there's no target on the growth. Otherwise, I'm going to rock up with an agenda. If I've got a KPI to grow, and the board are putting pressure on me to grow, I'm going to start doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And so we are growing, and that's how it is at the moment, but I don't know, maybe it won't in the future.
Over the course of the 2 decades, there would have been a lot of knocks along the way, a lot of stumbles, a lot of missteps.
Oh, yeah.
What are the ones that come to mind that really shaped how you operate now?
Look, I think there's lots of them. It's hard to pinpoint the ones. I guess a lot of the integrations and doing that really well, because you've got to join an aged care home into the organisation, and we've continuously improved that over 36 acquisitions, and so it's been, I think those have been continuous learning. We're taking on a not-for-profit community provider. It's really important to me that the previous board are happy, and that the staff are happy, and that the residents are happy, and the community's happy. Not that they haven't been, and you could go back and ask them and they'd say, yeah, we're happy, but things happen along the way, and it's like, we didn't do that right, or we could have done that better. And I guess they're the big learnings for me in that integration, and also just the different sizes of the organisation. Like running one, when we first started, it was 3 aged care homes, and so running that compared to running 10, compared to running 15, compared to running 20, compared to running 4, they're just different. And so we've had to shift perspectives. I've had to change as a CEO, and I'm going to have to. I mean, I think we're at 400 or 500 million revenue now. 100 million CEO can't run a $500 million organisation, and so I've had to always look ahead. And so for now, I'll be preparing what's it like to run $1 billion organisation. I have to become that CEO. I can't just sit still and expect this CEO is going to be able to run that.
Yeah.
And so I think they're the big learning things for me is that constant. I need
constant development. Yeah,
I have to. I have to, and the growth kind of forces that on you.
And on the flip side, over those 2 decades, there would have been a lot of celebrations, a lot of wins, a lot of times where people could and have exited the industry. But what are the wins and the celebrations or the memories that have made you go, this is my place, this aged care is the industry for me, I found my people?
I think fundamentally it's the underlying mission in what I was talking about, and that is just to care for older people. And I mean, part of your thing is like, bring sexy back, and it's not sexy. For me, it's not about, because society kind of like, we don't want to see it, we don't want to deal with it, or you work as CEO in aged care and it's kind of like you knock down a couple of pegs or something. But for me, it's like the most honourable thing I can do. Yeah. There's 2 things for me. One is the people that built the country. The other thing is the people that got shot at for the country and protected the country. And I think as a country, we need to treat those people with like so much regard, because they've done so much for the country. And look, they don't pull big votes is the problem. And like, to me, that's not a good excuse. It should be they get the care they need and then work out the budget after that with other groups of people or whatever. But the people that built it and the people that protected it, I think just they should get top priority. So for me, working in it, yeah, man, there's been some challenges working in the industry. I guess that's part of it too. I like challenges. Yeah. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I don't think anyone in the industry would be in it if they didn't like challenges. And so good on everyone that does work in the industry, leaders in the industry, because you just get smashed with changes and challenges all the time. Yeah. And I think it's for a worthwhile thing. And so I stick at it and I enjoy the challenges.
I don't care what anyone says, aged care is sexy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What are the benefits of being an employee of Respect? Why should someone join the organisation? And can you describe the culture?
So fundamentally, we believe, I said the mission's so important. Second to that is the staff. And when I do talk to staff, when they join Respect and I go on site, I say to them, if there's 2 aged care facilities in this town and one is flash and it's got chandeliers and marble and grand pianos and fountains and the staff aren't any good, or there's another one that's just ordinary and the staff are amazing, where would you want your mum or dad to go?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's where the staff are. And so I said, yeah, so you're really important, and get good staff is important. And also performance manage, not good staff, right? You can't just be all... I think culture is a lot about removing frustrations from the workplace, as much as it is, more than it is putting, a social group on, or what if they're coming to work and there's a toxic person on the thing, or they're trying to clock on their shift and it's not working, or the equipment's down there and it's broken. The people in aged care, 99% of them are coming because they love caring for older people, right? And they're already doing what they're passionate about. And so for me, it's about removing things out of their way more than adding things, because you can add as much as you like, but if you're going to have frustrations in the workplace, like people that shouldn't be there, or like I said, all the other problems they might encounter, then I just think it gets in the way of it. And a good culture is, just removing as many frustrations as you can. Yeah. At the management level, it's probably the same. We're known for being pretty down to earth, pretty flat organisation. If a cleaner comes up with an idea and it's better than my idea, the idea is better than my idea. Like, I don't care where the idea comes from. And we're country people, down to earth people, and I think it's just a good organisation to work with like that. There's no kind of egos swagging around in pinstripe suits or anything like that. So our management ENPS score is 92, which is really, really high. And I think a lot of it is about that. And also, if people do come into the organisation like that, they just don't last. So it's just a good culture, I think.
Well, you made a good point. There is a difference between a house and a home. And a house can be all pretty and flashy, but it's the people that make the home. And 100%, I would put my parents in a place where I know the staff are going to look after them. They come into the room with a smile on their face. When you go into a place, the first impression is, wow, it's shiny, but you forget all of that if you're not treated right.
Yeah, I think it's important to have good buildings too, so don't get me wrong, but at the same time, 100% it's
get the basics right first.
Yeah, and we lose that as an industry, and the government thinks they're going to change the industry, and the commission thinks they're going to change the industry, and I can sit here and think I'm going to change the industry, but at the end of the day, I'm sitting here talking to you while there's thousands of people out giving direct care to people, and so if you don't have good people doing that, the rest of it is just, it's superfluous to it.
Yeah,
I think we lose focus of that. Even the Royal Commission and the Aged Care Act, and how much of it is about building up those care staff and making sure we've got good care staff. It's about rules and regulations and ticking boxes, and at the end of the day, that's what makes good care.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to over the next 12 months, both at Respect and looking at the industry in general?
I think I'm looking forward to it settling and being able to innovate. And at the moment, if I threw an innovation at my team, and I've got ideas about things I'd like to do at Respect, but it's just, I'd burn the team out. And so I'd probably get my head cut off if I threw out some project like, hey, we're going to run this innovative program and launch it right now. And that's because there's so much change at the moment. And I'm just looking forward to June 30 next year. I don't want to hear about an Aged Care Act again. I don't want to hear about a Royal Commission again. I just want to get on with the job of caring for older people, innovating and making that happen. And so I think over the next 12 months, if I'm honest, I'm just looking forward to getting over that, getting past it, just moving on as an industry and start talking about really like what are we doing. Yeah.
I'm going to get into the questions from the sponsors.
Yeah.
So the first question is from Aurelia Legal. Now, Nilesh Bansal, the principal and founder of Aurelia Legal, asks,
hello, my name is Nilesh Bansal, founder and principal of Aurelia Legal. We specialize in helping aged care providers plan workforce strategies and assist them with visa applications for their staff. My question is, looking ahead, what do you see are the biggest hurdles in maintaining adequate staffing levels? And are there any particular roles or skills that are proving especially difficult to fill in Australia? If so, how do you intend to address these challenges? Thank you.
I can speak for regional areas. Look, it's always a struggle to get staff in regional areas, and so we absolutely have to use international pathways for that. Like relying on locals in regional areas is not really optional. So yeah, we do need to utilise visa pathways, whether that's the aged care visa or the PALM scheme, or we're looking at international RNs. We recruited 60 international RNs last year. So it's really important for us to have those pathways in place, and not reactive pathways either, because there's a turnover, right? We might have like a high teens turnover in the organisation, so you kind of can't wait till someone's turned over and then let's go recruit internationally, because it's going to take you 3 to 6 months. So it's about having the pathways and the mechanisms and the demand planning all in place to be able to cater for your workforce, and that's really important in a regional area. The other part of that is managers in regional area, very difficult to find as well. I think that's a benefit of being part of a larger organisation, though, because we've got the systems and the structures and the knowledge and capability within the organisation, the larger organisation, to help the local managers succeed. When it's an independent board and they're relying on a manager they've recruited from the town and expecting them to know everything and have all that capability, it can get very difficult. And that's sometimes where I see the wheels fall off. Mostly where the wheels fall off is there's been a manager at a standalone aged care home for a long time. The manager, they build up all their capability and knowledge and skills, and then they leave, and then you get a new one. And it's not the new person's fault, but it's just so much to get your head around, so much to get right. You've got to have all the levers pulled in the right direction. It's kind of impossible. And then sort of the wheels can fall off and the board's like, what do we do? So it's difficult in regional areas to find managers, but particularly for us it's easier because, like I said, we've got the capability within the organisation, but it's a difficult struggle.
Next question is from Dane Mitchell, the Managing Director at Optimum Allied Health. And his question is,
community-owned not-for-profits have traditionally been how regional areas deliver residential aged care. When Respect Group acquires one of these organisations, how do you preserve their community connection, but also tackle the elephant in the room, which is financial sustainability for these organisations? And I'm interested to hear if you think there's still a place for community-owned not-for-profits in the regional areas that we both serve.
So I'll start with the financial sustainability. We've got, I guess what we do works, because when I do talk to staff as well, there's 4 things I talk to them about. 1 is the care, that's why we exist. 2 is them, and I've explained that, why they're important. 3 is this needs to make profit, and I just say it. And I think in a lot of the times in the not-for-profit world, we're afraid to talk about it, but I'm not. I just get a wage. So if we make more profit, I don't get the money. The board doesn't get the money. It goes back into the care. And so I say to them, if your wage is more than your income at home, like, what are you going to do? You're going to go broke yourself. You're not going to be able to spend any money on your family. And it's the same for us. If we don't make any money, then we can't spend on the residents. The more profit we make, the more we can spend on the residents. We can upgrade the facility, and we can buy new equipment, and we can do things, but we can't if we don't. And they don't blink. And so I think we're afraid of that in the industry, but they don't blink. The 4th thing I say, so anyway, a model works that we run. It does make profit, and it has good care, and like we have happy staff, and so like it ticks those 3 boxes. The 4th thing is the community, because like most of the organisations that have joined Respect started as a community organisation, and so it's really important for us that we don't just become a corporate thing and they're a number on a spreadsheet. And so we really like to maintain the community connections. Definitely the names and things always just remain the same. And even if they don't, because we have acquired some off larger organisations. I mean, one was off Bupa in Portland, and it was just called Bupa Portland. And so we end up, in some instances, needing to create a community connection. So we put out a sort of competition to the community to name the home, something relevant to the local community, and then whoever wins the competition, we donate to a local charity, and then we need to start building like a community connection. So for us, it's really really important to keep that community connection. We want to stay the community aged care home. Like in some of our communities, Kyneton in Victoria, for example, RM Beg, our facility there, people go there first and they'll go everywhere else second because it's the community provider they know and they trust and whatever. We don't want to lose that.
That's really cool. What did they and what name did they end up with?
It's RM Beg, and it's always been called that, and that's because the lady that really started it all, her name was Ray M. Beg. Yeah, and so the facility is named RM Beg, always will be called RM Beg. We document histories and we honour that. It's really important for us not to come, you just can't come wipe that out.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's so much volunteerism, so much blood, sweat and tears goes into them. Even our own first one, Eliza Purton, a man took out a loan in his own name to buy some land in the outskirts of town. The community worked it off, paid off the land, then they subdivided it into house lots, and then the money they made off that they used to build an aged care home. And so most start like that, and you can't just come along and go, righto, you're a number on a spreadsheet. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Really important for us to maintain that, and even when we don't have to, we do it. Like we had one, Tyler Village in Launceston, joined Respect, and they were a Salvation Army facility originally, but they sold to the Macquarie Bank. Salvos did a while back. They've still got some, but like a lot of their homes, they sold to the Macquarie Bank. So they had it in between we had it, so we acquired it off the Macquarie Bank. But we still honour the history just because it's the right thing to do. So we built a retirement village next to it, researched salvos. There was a guy in Launceston called Henry Reid, and he was part of the salvos first donating to, he donated to William Booth £5,000, which is a lot of money, to start the whole salvo. So we called the retirement village Reid Estate, and we don't need to do that. We had the captain come at the opening, and like we don't need to do that stuff. It's just part of what we believe in doing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that answer. I think Dane will be very happy with that. Okay, the next question is from Robert Covino, the CEO of Mirus Australia, and he wants to ask the following question.
As the sector continues to balance financial sustainability, compliance, and delivering high-quality care, what do you believe will separate the aged care providers who thrive in the next 5 years from those who struggle?
Look, I think it's, it depends. I think you got to thrive on change, and you've got to be able to handle change. And so I think there's multiple ways to look at it. And there's also, you've got to be commercial as well. There's got to be a balance between the two. And we've got a good balance, I think, between commercial and not-for-profit, and you absolutely need that. You're going to have commercial providers that go well because they're completely commercially focused. You're going to have some not-for-profits that don't go well because they're not commercially focused. And so it's really important, I think, to have that balance of not-for-profit and commercial. And and there's this thing about it that, and even sometimes I get managers, they join Respect and they're like, we start talking about making profit, and they kind of get weird about it because I think in their head they think that detracts from care. It's like a duality for them.
Yeah.
It's a dichotomy. You can't give good care and make a profit. And I say to them, well, how's increasing your occupancy decreasing the care? And they're like, oh, it's not. And I said, well, how's reducing your agency decreasing the care? And, oh, it's not that. How's increasing your ANAC decreasing it? And it's not. Right. So it's not really, for me, it's really about money not leaking out the door. We're not for profit. To me, we've got a more responsibility to make sure money stays in the organisation than we do as a private, because like I said before, any money we make goes back into the care, and so we're not really doing our job if it's just leaking out the organisation. So you've got to have that side of it, and then you've also got to pay a social dividend. And like, funnily enough, I learned that off a private operator CEO, Ian Thorley, because I was talking to him about the commercial side of it, and I was saying, well, we don't have to pay dividend, and he said, you do, you've got to pay a social dividend. And I was like, true.
What's that?
Well, you've got to pay back, we've got to use our resources to put back into something, right? That's more than like dividends to shareholders and whatever. So like we're launching a national social care program, reinvesting what would be dividends back into the care program. We think there's good physical care of older Australians, but we're not sure about the mental care, whether that's good enough. Psychological care, and so we're launching a program about doing that. So it's reinvesting, I guess, the profit into something meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned something new. Social dividends.
Yeah, social dividend.
Okay. The next question is from Brad Sandilands, co-founder and director of Quality Insight. And he'd like to ask,
hi, Anthony, and hi, Jason. Thank you very much for letting me pose this question to you, Jason. I'm Brad Sandlands from Quality Insight. Being a provider of a number of aged care services that is stretched across a number of states and primarily regional areas, how hard is it to maintain a satisfactory level of customer engagement and satisfaction? Thank you.
It's as hard as hard as it is to get good staff. And because like I was saying before, you get good staff, you get good care. It's a bit like going to a restaurant. If you went to a restaurant, steak could be good, decor could be good. If the staff ain't good, it's going to wreck your experience. And so for me, it is about finding good staff and getting good staff, making sure those international recruitment pathways are good. We're getting good people from those programs. And like I said, it's the people that make the place, not the buildings or anything. And yeah, we've got rules and regulations and things we need to follow. We need to be compliant. But at the end of the day, it's about the care workers and the work they're doing with the residents and making sure they're doing that with love and care and dignity and respect. And if they're doing that, it's going to be good care.
yeah. Thanks, Brad, for that question. Now, do you have a question for the audience? I've sprung this on you. I didn't put this on the guidelines, but yeah, if there's anything that you've asked your team recently, any question that you've asked anyone, I think the audience wouldn't mind taking a crack at answering any questions or commenting on anything at the forefront of your mind.
Questions. Look, I think it's an interesting space. I'll just make a comment on it. I mean, there's all these different ways people go, and I think there's this assumption about baby boomers, I think, and it's an unknown because we think like, baby boomers are coming. The statement is baby boomers have got money, baby boomers want to spend it, and baby boomers know what they want to spend it on. And I think there's a lot of assumptions in that. And you know, some people are charging down the track of satisfying that, and other people are kind of ignoring it. I guess the question is for people, you know, what's your view on that? Like, what do you think will really happen when baby boomers hit the system? I mean, one of those assumptions, like I just said, is baby boomers have all this money. It's actually, baby boomers hold 60% of the wealth in Australia. But it's 30% of the baby boomers that hold the wealth. So you could say it's a generalisation to say baby boomers have money.
It's more nuanced than thinking they're going to come in, they're going to spend all this money.
Yeah, I wonder what people's opinions are on the whole thing when that happens, you know. And it's even worse in regional areas because most of that 30% is concentrated in capital cities. So yeah, I guess I just opened that question up for people.
Yeah.
What do they think will happen when baby boomers do arrive? The oldest baby boomer is 80, so you know, average age of entry into aged care is 84. So we've got 4 years, and what do we really think is going to happen? It's 4 years to prepare.
There you go, guys. Let us know your thoughts on that. Jason, now I want to know about you outside of aged care and the 39 homes you're looking after at Respect. How do you fill your own cup? How do you make sure you're able to show up every day? What do you do outside of work?
Fill up my cup. Well, I'm into Eastern philosophy, so most people, when I say they think meditation, it's not actually, I don't do a lot of meditation, but it's really to me about understanding the ego and what that is, and trying not to be somebody, right? Because as soon as you try and be somebody, you're putting pressure on yourself to be something you're not. And people think the ego is one way or the other, right? You've got a big ego, and people think that's what it is, right? If I said someone's got an ego, you'd say, you know, they're walking around thinking they're great.
Yeah.
But the ego can work the other way. So, you can believe things about yourself that aren't true, like I'm not good enough, and that can make you not, not shrink in rather than go out. And so to me, it's about not having an ego. It's important to me, and doing the work on that so that I can show up every day. I'm not stressed about my work. I'm not trying to be something. I'm also not believing I'm not good enough. And look, people that try to be something believe they're not good enough anyway because they're compensating for not being good enough. Ultimately, we're all deep down there feel like we're not good enough. And so for me, it's just the work on, removing that and just being my natural self. That kind of removes a lot of stress and pressure for me. And so I'm able to do the job. I'm able to expand the company quickly. I have to be mindful of other people, of course, not burn out my team, make sure our structures are right, they've got resources and they're feeling good. But at the end of the day, for me, I do this job in a sense of ease, and that's really important for me. It's a big job, and we've all got big jobs as CEOs in aged care, and if I can do that in a space like that, it just makes the job a lot easier. So I spend a lot of time on that in my spare time.
What is it called? Eastern
philosophy.
Yeah. Is there anything you're reading at the moment?
I generally read different things. So there's the old Sanskrit texts you can read. There's a book called I Am That I read a fair bit.
I Am That?
Yeah, I Am That. And there's about a guru from India, and he become enlightened, and enlightenment is just getting rid of your ego. It's like for some people disappears. So I'll read that, and so that's a book about a guru guy that did that, and then people come to ask him questions, and they recorded all the questions and answers, and so I think it's a pretty cool book. So I guess I spend a lot of my time exploring that. I find that an interesting space. It's intellectually stimulating for me as well.
Well, I haven't read in so long, but I'm making a list of things I need to read when I can finally get back. It's the whole TikTok brain is ruined me.
Yeah.
So I need a detox from that dopamine hit from those reels that I scroll endlessly on.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list.
Yeah.
Jason, was there anything in this podcast that any message you'd like to get across that we weren't able to cover?
I think I gave my messages across, and I guess the main thing is that I think what we're doing is the most important thing in the country. And like I said, we were born here, we're lucky to be born here.
Yeah.
And caring for the people that built it is the most important thing we can be doing. And I guess there's people listening in the aged care industry, we're just well done. And don't ever feel like it's a second-rate industry. It's the best industry. It's the number one priority industry in my view. So that would be the message I'd give.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate having you on.
No worries. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.